series parallel type configuration.
Okay.
In other words, the amp selector, which is the, what essentially the line out drives, the wet stuff and everything. The way I configured it was in a wet-dry configuration, a lot of times you're just putting all of your effects in parallel. You have a dry center image and then the stereo left and right, okay? And if you have a mixer, then the left and right, what happens, they're all usually summed from the same mono source, meaning the amp selector, okay? Well, in this application, I've also got it so that that means that everything echoes. If they weren't reverbed and echoed inside each processor somehow, you would have
Hello?
the echoes would die off dry or whatever, so there's no interaction between the effects other than them being mixed together. So in this case, I have the 1210, the Eventide section in parallel, and actually a dry signal that can be switched on and off in mix 1.
Oh, that's cool.
Mix 1 feeds mix 2, okay? And in mix 2 is the PCM80 and the 2290. So that those will be affected by the things preceding it.
Cool.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So what that means then is if nothing is selected in mix 1, you don't get any sound any further into the other two. So what I've given you is a dry switch where you can turn dry signal on and off in mix 1. So in other words, if I'm sitting here like this, we're listening to that amp. Right now, it's dry. You're only hearing that one dry center cabinet, okay?
Right.
Now, remember, in mix 2, you've got this guy and this guy. Therefore, you got to get signal into them further down the chain, or else you're not going to hear them. In other words, if I turn on 2290 right now, ain't going to hear it, because there's nothing feeding it. All right. So I could pick dry. There's your echo. Okay. Or 1210 can hit it. Now you've got echoed chorus along the chorus and echoed chorus.
Yes,
you
yes.
see? Or, for example, here, reverb. It's pretty. Oh, because there's nothing.
That's right.
There you go. See? Now I can chorus that. Now you hear reverb. So these are all on the block diagram. You'll see and everything, and
cool.
you'll figure out ways of dealing with that. It's pretty straightforward. It's really easy. These are generally going to be set straight up. This is your overall master volume for the left and right side. So it's much the same, but further down the chain than doing this. See, this pulls back and the echoes decay.
Right. So.
Well, no echoes in it. But here, of course, that's the end of the line, except for your power amp levels.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now you also, just for grin, see that's the other thing, when you start messing with this stuff, it's a wet-dry thing, so you're always going to have that dry center image.
Yeah.
Unless
So, like one of the amps, the Mojave Peacemaker, sometimes I'll run it with a hot plate, but on load.
There you go. Okay, that's what I was getting at. Is if you have a hot plate in there and you turn it all to load to get rid of that dry sound, then you got left and right, typical stereo left and right rig. You got dry sound coming through once you get past that first mix.
Right.
Because see, sometimes you may not want in that first mix, you might want it 100% wet.
Yeah.
For whatever's going on in here, some crazy shit.
Yeah.
A chorus type thing where it's all pitched and not any dry, so it just gives you lots of options.
All right, cool.
The other thing is this guy is a good place. I use a control function to bypass it because it's got a switch on the back where you can mute its dry sound. And the typical, if you know how these things work, mode 2 the intensity control acts as your output level.
Okay.
So if you're using this as and of course, but if I turn this thing on, I'll show you an example. Just kill all these guys. Go ahead and play. You're hearing it on the outside, so I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. But if that's the only thing on, let me kill the dry sound too. Now that's totally wet.
Yeah.
Left and right. Now if I do this, no output. See, nothing coming out of left and right.
Yeah.
So that's the typical mode to use with this thing. This is also another good place because it sees signal all the time to adjust levels from however hot you've got your amps.
Okay.
The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to set your amps
Right.
to their proper volumes and what you want them to be coming out of the dry cabinet. And then you can adjust these level controls to how hot it feeds the rest of the stuff. And these are always active. You don't have to turn anything else on.
Cool.
You know, so you can always see how much level is coming in right here. And when we're down this low, you're not going to see much come up on it.
Right.
And generally, for the most part, these input sensitivities can be all the way off.
Okay.
And that's maximum headroom for most cases. I mean, you could turn them up if you were listening to really low volume or something. And in a sense, we are really low